feast your eyes on this. Now when you look at this, the instinct is to say, well, that has to be a portable record player. Then you look at it a little bit closer and you see the Califone name, model 3670AV-1. And, well, Califone doesn't sound like a company that would make a record player. They sound like a company that would make a cassette deck, either a recorder or a player, something like that. Well, this is the same concept taken to 1,000, because this is indeed, I will take that off just for the sake of it not falling all over the place, a cassette deck that looks like it has been screwed into a portable record player chassis. Very interesting. This is a very high-end unit, 3670AV-1 cassette recorder. You can see it's got a digital VU meter, built-in microphone, of course your volume and tone controls, automatic level control, and PA, which again I don't know what that does. Someone will probably tell me. They've probably told me in the comments on the video of that thing. This has two microphone inputs, one of which is the 1/4-inch style, the other of which is the 1/8-inch plus remote for remote start and stop. Usual set of controls. On the back here, there are 4 headphone jacks, auxiliary output, an auxiliary input, and also an input for a high-power speaker, 10 watts. Turn on the afterburners. As well as a DC 12-volt input. I do not believe that this would take batteries, although I suppose there's probably nothing stopping you from plugging in a connection for battery there. The other interesting thing about this is, take a look at that, it's center pin negative. It's very odd, not something that you normally see. Of course, it has an AC input here, which is very nice. An extremely large speaker. Turn the light on there. Again, portable record player style. Even looks like it's got a tweeter. High-end stuff. Unfortunately, I can't really give you a demonstration of this because the belt is bad on this unit. Where it was good on those ones, it is bad on this one. I am, for no other reason than I can, going to go ahead and take it apart. There it is with it, the cover off. You can see that it is entirely self-contained, which is quite interesting, except for the speaker. Also interesting, I'm not really sure how that happened, but I'm going to go ahead and take those out of there. I don't really think that they're supposed to be in there. Hopefully I don't hurt myself on them, because they are, being what they are, extremely sharp. I'd love to know how something like that happens. Did they get sucked up through the opening in the bottom? They'd almost certainly have to be. There's a lot of them too, they're like all stuck. Hopefully I can get them all. Alright, I think that's just about all of them. Oh, it looks like it's broken. I think I got them all. Bunch of pins. Kind of weird. Taking a look at the actual unit itself, you can see it's got a fuse and all these capacitors and things. I hope that they're all good. The belts, rather interestingly, appear to also all be good. Well, they're not mush. So I'm kind of curious as to why this is not working. Because it probably should be. I'm going to go ahead and, this is probably a dangerous thing to do, but I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. I don't know that I have enough length on my cord here to plug it in. Get a little bit more. There you go. Plug it in. Turn it on. I know that there is some capacitor noise, so I said that I hope they're good, but there probably are some bad ones. It is powered on here. Oh no, would you look at that? Now apparently it's working. Yeah, it's a little slow though. Yeah, we definitely have an issue. There's the auto stop mechanism working. So while I believe that the belt is, it's not like belted or anything like that, is it good? Probably not. I let it sit here for a bit, try to operate it. Now it's operating better than it was. Yeah, it's not really good. I'll probably have to replace, I think it's this belt right here. Yeah, that probably shouldn't stretch that much. You can see it's kind of wobbling on that pulley there. So yeah, that's probably not good. I'll go ahead and I'll put this back together. And I'll try and play something. If you look in the cabinet as well, there is a circuit diagram. That's pretty neat. It's actually very nice to have. So I'll put this back together, see if it'll actually play. I don't think it will. It wasn't a few seconds ago. Well, it's not going to now because it's obviously turned off. But yeah, it's working a lot better than it was. Maybe I just need a little bit of exercise. That could be it. Okay, it's not bad. So the answer to the question, does it work? Sounded like it said no there, and like answered its own question. But it tries valiantly. That must be some of that vaporwave that people are going ape over. At least they were for a while. Probably not anymore. I'm behind on the trends, but yeah, doesn't quite work. So that's going to need a belt. Not that I expected anything else, but hey, it is still certainly interesting to look at. Here's a look at the information plate on the inside. Deluxe Classroom Recorder / Listening Center. Operating instructions. Here's some information about it. You can pause the video if you'd like to read any of that. There's your parts diagram. And you can pause the video if you'd like to read any of this. So that explains what the PA switch is for. Too bad it never actually worked for me. Of course, that's the same thing in French. A couple of replacement parts. Looks like they even have the model for the drive belt right there. Not that it'll actually mean anything, because I'm not sure that you could actually buy such anymore. Yeah, back when even classroom equipment mattered. The other thing about this is, have a listen when I turn the volume all the way up. These camcorder batteries suck, but they're pretty much the only thing that you can get now. No, I guess they work. Anyway, like I was saying, take a listen to this when I power this on. Have a listen to the noise coming from the output. There's a 60 hertz buzzing and a lot of hissing. I can make the hiss go away by turning the tone control to low, but the buzz stays there. So, definitely needs a belt, but could probably also use a capacitor set. Not totally sure. Of course, that might be normal. That's with the volume turned all the way up. So, I'm not too worried about the cats, but obviously before this thing can really do anything, I will need to replace that belt. And that is pretty much it for this video of the Califone 3670AV-1 cassette recorder. Almost working, but definitely in need of some repairs. Thanks for watching, and if you have any comments, feel free to leave them below.